Hello everyone and welcome to the Houston School of Art and Design's video tutorial on 5 tips to help you improve your drawing. Before we get into the video, however, I'd like to share a little information about a contest we're having here at the school. If you look to the bottom of your screen, you will see that we are giving away a free portrait drawing to the winner, and the way to enter is simple. If you look to the side of your screen, you will see a retweet button, a like button, and an area where you can submit your email address. So go ahead and do all 3 of those things so you will be entered to win. These portraits make great presents for weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, Mother's Day, Father's Day, so you don't want to miss out. And don't forget to tell your friends and family so they have an opportunity to win as well. Well, let's get into the video, and I hope these tips help you, and we will see you afterwards. Hello everyone and welcome back. Now the first tip I want to share with you is something that's often overlooked, and not too many people even know that they should be doing this. What most people do when they start a drawing is they'll start from the middle of the page and they'll work their way to the very edge of their paper, letting the lead bleed off of it. Or they'll start from the very edge and work their way towards the middle. Now there's a few reasons why this is not a good idea, and I'm going to share that with you in a second. But first, let me share with you the correct way to do this. Now you're always going to want to leave at least 1 inch to 3 inches away from the edge of your page. Now the reason for this is because if you don't go get your drawing framed, you can always get an eraser and just erase a little bit off of the edge of your drawing, giving it that clean, professional look. However, if you do go get it framed, you're usually going to have a mat board that's at least 2 to 3 inches. So that's going to cover all of the edge of your drawing. So if you have a drawing that you did a lot of detail on the very edge of it, you're going to cover that with your mat board. So you don't want that to happen. Now another reason why this is a good idea is because if your mat board has a wider dimension, you can always come back and fill in that space that you didn't cover. Now let me show you an example of a drawing that I did not too long ago. Let me zoom out here. Okay, now as you can see, I have a mat board that's at least 3 inches. And you can also see that I left about 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches away from my drawing and the edge of the page, all the way around. So if in case this didn't go all the way to the very edge, I can always come in and just do a little bit more shading so it fills in that gap. So that's the first tip, and you want to keep that in mind every time you start your new drawing. Okay, now for tip number 2. Most people, when they start drawing, they don't know that there's a difference between the lead and the pencil, and they usually start off with the number 2 pencil and they use it for everything. It's fine if you're going to do something with fast shading or figure drawing, something like that. But if you're going to do something with a lot of detail, you're going to want to know what these numbers and letters mean on these type of pencils. So as you can see, there is a number and a letter, and the letter H stands for the hardness. It refers to the hardness of the pencil. The B stands for the boldness of the pencil, or the blackness of the pencil. So the higher the number, the lighter or darker the lead of the pencil is going to be. Now let me give you an example. For a 6B, you're going to want to do the darkest part of your drawings in this pencil. Then you could shade down to a 4B, then maybe into a 2B, and there's also an HB, which is great for blending the B's and the H's together. Then we have the number 2, H. And as you can see, that is getting a lot softer. And then we have a 4H, which is going to be one of the very lightest shades. So as you could tell, there's a big difference between the 6B and the 4H. Now, let me show you a quick example of a drawing that I did already. For the eyes, I use a 6B because I wanted to get the viewer's attention right onto the eyes, so I used the darkest pencil. When it got into the lighter areas or mid-tones, such as this one right here, I used a 2B. Then when I wanted to get into the very light areas, such as this over here on the side, I used a 2H. So keep that in mind next time you're drawing, and get a set of professional pencils. That way your drawings come out exactly the way you want them. Okay, now for tip number 3. This tip is really going to help you improve your shading. Now if you're new to drawing and your shading is not that good, that's fine, you'll get there over time. But this tip will help you get there faster. So what you want to focus on here is where you hold your pencil. When I'm doing a light shade, I always want to hold my pencil by the eraser. This way I'm only applying the minimum amount of pressure. And it's always good to keep your shade very light at first, because you can always go back and darken an area. But it's not that easy to go back and make a darker area lighter. Now when I do my mid-tone, I'm going to want to hold the pencil towards the center. So just remember, mid-tone, middle of pencil. And I'm not applying that much more pressure than I was a second ago. Now I'm ready for my dark tones. So I'm going to hold the pencil towards the tip. And I'm going to apply a little bit more pressure this time, just so I could achieve the tone that I want. So this is just a quick example, but these techniques should be applied every time you draw, whether it be a sketch or a portrait. So that's tip number 3. Apply it whenever you shade, and you should see improvement in no time. Tip number 4. In this tip, I really wanted to remind you, as I mentioned in the previous tip, to leave your darkest shading for last. As you can see, I already drew an eye here. Just as a quick example, all I need to do now is add the darkest areas of this drawing using a 6B pencil. So let me go ahead and do that now. As you can see, there's a big difference between the before and the after drawing. The 6B really brought out the eyebrows, the eyelashes, the pupil, and the iris. Tip number 5. Now what most people do when they're almost done with their drawing is they'll go back and add just a little bit more detail, which is fine, but as you notice, my hand is over the area that we just covered with the 6B pencil. Now, to prevent smudging, all you have to do is simply add a piece of paper in between your hand and the area you're drawing on. Well, that's the very last tip. I hope this helped you as much as it's helped me. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time here at the Houston School of Art and Design.